Right now, the other thing we've got is let's pull the metal. Let's see if we can pull the metal out of this, because we don't want to put. Oh, look, crafty. Okay, so what they did was after they put the metal in, see they put a heat. They heated the plastic so that the metal becomes a part of this plastic. That's all one set. So we're going to very delicately, we're going to turn our temperature down to 500 F, or about 275, 260 maybe C. All right, and we're going to very delicately take that off of there. Now what I want to do is I'm going to set this up so I don't create another problem here. Let me see if I can get a hold of this with this set of metal tongs, and that should wick away also some of the heat as we're trying to solder to it. What I want to do first, though, is get rid of any excess solder. And actually, there's probably a hole in there, and we want to make sure that the hole is open. So we're going to go ahead and get some cleaning our tip, right, which starts the rosin in the bottom of the cleaner, and then we get some rosin on here, and I want a hole in this. Here's a small screwdriver, smallest screwdriver, not the smallest, but pretty close to the small screwdriver that I've got. And let's see if, in fact, we can just do this. And again, I don't want to get this too hot. Right? It's got to get hot enough, though, that I can get the excess solder off it. Well, it doesn't seem to be doing what I want it to do. So I'm going to use a dental pick. I'm going to use a dental pick, and I'm going to try to push a hole through it. If that doesn't work, I'm going to use a drill. Again, I don't want to get this thing so hot that that it's going to melt the plastic. Usually count to 10. Up. All right. Yep. Okay, so great. Super. All right, so I don't know if you can see this, but the dental tool went through a hole, so I've got a hole there that I can go ahead and put the wire in. All right. Good enough. And again, if that didn't work, I was ready to drill a hole with a drill. All right, now we have another problem, don't we? Because in order to get something through that hole, it's got to be, it's got to go through, you can't see that. It's got to go down through this. Hopefully this is cool enough I can touch it. It's got to go down through all of this, and so where I can solder it on the other side. So it's already going down through a hole here. It's got to go down through a hole here, all right, and down to the other side. There's no real way for me to hold that in there. I've got to also put the shrink tube on there before I solder it. All right. So let's make sure that we've got the optimum shrink tube length. So looking at, so I've got all kinds of schmutz on here that I need to get off. Schmutz. I don't know what that means. I just don't know even what language it is. So we're going to get some of this off. Now again, I could have, if I had gotten this hot enough, if I was able to take it off, I would have gotten it so hot that it would have melted off. But, oh, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. So it did come off and come off fairly cleanly. All right, so good. I've got the excess solder off of it now, and we got a fairly clean hole. Now let's see what we got here. That goes on. We want a little bit up here. All right, not too much. Not too much, maybe about right there. Okay. So I'm trimming this back. This is exactly what I want for shrink tube. We'll put the shrink tube on. Iron's still hot. All right, we're going to put the shrink tube up far enough that it's not going to get hot, even on the other side of this. All right, we need to pre-tin the wire before we put it in. Yes, no? Okay, we've tinned the wire now. It's coming from the top, and it's going to go through that hole like that. All right, and now we need to fold it over. Sorry you can't see all of this. Again, trying to do this in real time. All right, and one of the reasons why we're folding it over is because we want a good mechanical connection. It's the reason why there's a hole in it, right? So if you had just soldered to it, that's one thing, but soldering through it and putting a mechanical connection on there means that that it shouldn't come loose. Now, you would say, yeah, but it did come loose. I know. So what happened with that? Well, sometimes at the factory, even here when I'm doing this, you can become a little bit aggressive with the stripper, with the wire stripper. And when you're aggressive with the wire stripper, you can cut the strands right at the spot where the insulation touches. And if you cut too many strands, then again you lose the mechanical integrity. All right, that should do it. That should do it. Let's do a mechanical test here. That looks good. All right, we're ready to run down the shrink tube. Again, it might be a little hot, so if it is hot, you want to make sure that shrink tube stays on there well. All right, so there we got a good connection. Everybody see that? Good, good, good. We'll go ahead and see if we can again try to get it shrunk. No sense having shrink tube unless you can shrink it. This is putting a lot of heat on this. I can't even hold my hand up there. That's how hot it is. So it would be better if it was a concentrated heat source. Sometimes you'll see people do this with a soldering iron. So I'm going to do that, right? Put it right on the shrink tube, and you'll see the shrink tube again shrinks back and does what it has to do. Right? That's good. I don't need that. And using the term schmutz, right? I don't need that solder schmutz on there, but that's a better connection because of that. Now, we're going to put it all back together again. All right, so step number one. Let's go ahead and put the weight on first. That was hot. Ouch, that was hot. Okay, going to put the board on first. What are we going to do? Yeah, let's put the board on. Can you see this? Yeah, you can see what I'm doing. All right, I'm going to put the board on. And then it's on pretty good. All right, now this has to go up and through, and it has to go on this connector. Well, that could be part of the problem. The way this thing is set up, this tab needs to be bent up. So let's get our super duper pair of pliers, and let's bend this tab up. This whole thing needs to go vertical. Let's see if we can get it more vertical than the way it is right now. Like that. Make sure we didn't do any damage to the inside of this. See, the plastic and that metal thing softened to the point where it came loose a little bit. Shouldn't hurt anything. Now, there you go. Okay. And again, it's hard to see, and I'm feeling through a lot of this myself. I'm just going to kind of set it in there. Come on. It's got three pins that it's got to go in. And I'm watching the wires more than I am the pins, so it's hard to do this. All right. Turn this baby over. Do the same thing on the other side. Now we don't want to put it all the way in because we got to put the wheels back on. All right. We're going to get the wheels in there. They have to go in those holes, metal holes. Right, on the outside of the trucks. That's one set of wheels. Where's the other set? Where are you? There you are. Other set of wheels, right, goes in like that. Like that. And like that. And pushing in, pushing in, pushing in. Making sure that the wheels go in the holes. Pushing the trucks all the way in now. All right, why does this look funny? Yeah, hopefully it's not something that I did. All right, pushing them all the way in, pushing them up tight. Okay, look good. Let's check our wiring again, right? So now we've got, wow. Uh-oh. Oh, geez. All right. So in doing all this, I pulled the wires out of the lights. Now I got to put them back in. Okay. This mechanism here is tight, so let's pull this back. All right, and here's our wires. Here's our wires coming from the wheels now. And so they have to go in the little grooves that's set up for this weight. So I'm going to force them back into the holes where they belong. And again, I'm sorry if you can't see this. It's really tight in here. Okay. And then we're going to put the screws in that goes into this. And so that was these two little screws here. So we're going to put one in. Right, and tighten it up. And put the other one in. Tighten it up. Now I'm not actually tightening them all the way. I'm leaving them a little bit loose. Leaving them a little bit loose. Okay? Because what we've got to do is we've got to make sure we've got to make sure that these wires, as they come up to here, are loose enough, right, so that they don't come out again. Putting the decoder back, setting it back in. There you go. Got a wire that's stuck into that from the motor. Get it loose. There you go. There we go. Much better. Okay, now what I'm looking for is I'm looking for some looseness to this. All right, so still trying to get the wires so you can kind of see the wires going through the side here. We want to make sure we have enough wire, so I'm pulling enough wire through this. May have to loosen up the screw a little bit more. I want to loosen these screws up. It has to be enough wire so that as it goes back and forth this way, that there's plenty of, it's loose enough and doesn't have the break issue again. Looks good on that side. This is the side that broke. Pulling it through a little bit. I think it's pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and cinch these up. Look at how they come through the top. It looks pretty good. Okay, next part of this is we're putting it back together again. So we have fixed the problem, but now we've like pulled these two out. These two go in the top, in the hood in the front. So I got to like look down inside of there and find the holes that they go in, and then put them in the holes. Yeah. All right, well, I'll be back when I do that, because my head's going to be in the way. You're not going to be able to see anything anyhow. All right, so now let's finish it up. Putting couplers on it, and we're actually going to change the couplers out. I got a little task light to put that on. We've got some things that have come out of place, and so we're going to fix the gingerbread here. Fix the railings up. Got another one here that's out of place. And fix it up. Alrighty then, we got to put the cover back on this wheel. Before we do that though, let's do another quick check. Put it on continuity test, right? We make sure that we have continuity now. Oh, come on. Nothing. Really great. It's not what I wanted to see. All right, let's try this again here. All right, let's go from here to here on the top. Okay, we got continuity there. I'm going to go from here down. Okay, got continuity there. Here down. Oh, come on. Is that the one I just fixed? Nothing. Oh, Jiminy Cricket. Well, before I lose this cap, I'm going to put it back on. And leave a little bit exposed. We're going to do that on the other one here too. Leave enough exposed so we can test. All right, now let's test this again. All right, just back on the motor mount. There we go. Testing from here, right, to the other side. Okay. Testing from here, right, down to the truck. Nothing. Doggone it. All right, let's take the weight off again. Hopefully I didn't sever these with the weight. Let's go ahead and take the screws all the way out. Okay, where did that screw go? There it is. Nothing. Neither one of them picking up. Wow. Seriously. Okay. Well, I don't see anything wrong with it. I mean, the wire is definitely on. So it must have been just where I was trying to. Come on. Okay, it's picking up now. All right, let's test. Let's make sure that these wires go in the slots that they're supposed to go in. Okay, and I'm going to kind of pull on these wires and see if I can. They do not pull well at all. This one does. That one does. This one doesn't. All right, I think I need to loosen this one up. All right, let's see if I can. Figure out how that sits in there. All right, I've got movement for both of these. All right, now let's do continuity check between the wheel and the wire. Don't tell me that one broke now. Let's do this one. Hopefully one of these is working.